Suicide Squad number 19, written by Adam Glass, art by Cliff Richards. So last issue we had Yo-Yo fighting his sister and sacrificed himself by having Deadshot blow up his neck bomb. This issue just picks up immediately afterwards. We see the explosion has basically demolished this building more or less. There's debris everywhere. And Deadshot is looking around like, geez, okay, that was bad. And it looks like everybody's dead except for me. So at that point, he digs himself out from the rubble as best he can. And he looks around, seeing if he can help anybody. But then rubble starts coming down again. And Waller reaches out and says, "Hey, Deadshot, I'm here to save you because you don't have my permission to die." And they get their bearings. They look up in the sky and they see the bat signal, which I'm like 99% sure that this story was set outside of Gotham. But I guess now they're just in Gotham. Regardless, they say, "All right, we got to get out of here." And Deadshot walks over to... all he can see is the shoes of Harley, her boots, sticking out from the rubble. And he's like, "Oh, Harley, I can't believe you went out this way." And then Harley just walks up from behind him and says, like, "Hey, what are you doing with my shoes?" And it's just a thing. It's a joke. They're just playing it off. Regardless, King Shark's also cool and voltaic. So they all manage to make their way out through a secret underground tunnel or something like that to a different place in the building. And basically, Deadshot stops Waller and says, "Hey, I'm not going anywhere further than this unless you tell us what in the hell is going on." And Waller says, "Oh, well, what about your neck bombs? I'll just blow them. You see that the neck bombs work now, so I'm going to do it." And he's like, "Then do it. Just do it already and free me from this hell." And she pulls out the controller and presses the button. But it turns out this controller's button deactivates the neck bombs. And Waller says, "Okay, I used to be part of the secret government organization. Regulus killed one of my old teammates. This is personal. And I would like you guys to help me rescue Kurt Lance, because he's an old friend. But you don't have to." And then King Shark's like, "Okay, but like, what if we don't?" And she says, "Well, then I'll hunt you down and kill you all independently." So the squad looks at each other and it's like, "All right, fair enough. We'll help you, I guess. Where are we going?" And she basically says, "Look, just follow my lead. I've got some intel. I know where Regulus is." And then Deadshot makes a point of like, real quick before we go, is Voltaic like dead? Because he's not responding to anything despite the fact he's still moving around. And Waller says, "We'll get to that. It's eventually." So they make their way down to the sewers. And Waller tries making a conversation with Harley about her splitting up with the Joker. And basically, Harley's like, "How do you know what happened there?" Because she's not aware of the contacts that Waller has. And she's like, "You were delirious when you woke up in the hospital." And Harley says, "Yeah, that makes sense." And then all of a sudden, we see Harley's internal monologue of Harleen, like Dr. Quinzel, talking. So that's just going to be a thing again. I thought we were done with that, but regardless, it's still here. And the internal monologue makes it seem that Harley was faking it the whole time, but now it's actually true. So either way, Deadshot gets a handle on Harley, gets her to calm down. They hear a fight coming down the sewer where everyone else walked on. And when they get to this big like juncture point, King Shark, Voltaic, and Waller are all down. And out comes a swamp creature, like he looks like Swamp Thing, but he's made of sewer water, named Trench. And apparently him and all these other things in the sewers are these swamp angels. And Deadshot remembers that name from a story Black Spider told him. He's like, "That's impossible. Regulus killed you." And he's like, "Yeah, Black Spider told you the story, and he was a traitor." "No duh, man. Of course I'm still alive." So Harley has some jokes about having business cards. And then basically Trench says, "Look, I know where Regulus is, but we have Amanda Waller here, and if we give Waller to Regulus, he'll not kill us. So we're just going to do that instead." And then all of the sewer water starts rising up because I guess he has control of it and he's going to drown everybody. But Voltaic puts up a electric shield to protect them, And then when Trench apparently tries to drown Voltaic via his powers, it doesn't work because he's dead or whatever, and he has no idea what's going on. So at that point, Voltaic uses his abilities, shocks everybody else in there. Waller's out cold, and everyone's like, should we bail? Should we leave? And Deadshot's all up for leaving, but then everyone else is like, no, we can't just leave her. We gave our word. And Deadshot's like, are you kidding me right now with this? I'm out. And at that point, a mysterious figure enters, and he says, you gave your word, and that means something, Deadshot. And this is the unknown soldier who was the backup story in GI Combat for like all 8 issues. I have no idea what he's doing here, but regardless, Deadshot's about to open fire on him because he's like, you're a myth, you can't possibly exist. And then the unknown soldier just turns the gun on himself and, or turns the gun on Deadshot, fires a shot, and he's like, now I'm the new leader of the Suicide Squad. And that's the issue. Okay, so there were a few art issues in this book I kind of just glossed over. Mainly during that part when they're talking to Trench, the other 3 team members besides Harley and Deadshot just appear and disappear and wake up and fall back asleep at random. Not great. Not a good look, because it's all on one page. I don't even know how they managed to make that happen, that they were messing it up all on the same page. But regardless, it did. Unknown Soldier. Yep. I don't. Here's the thing. It's a twist. I'm not denying the fact that it's a twist, but why him? And he's in a sewer. I mean, that fits for what I think of the character, but dear Lord, this just is it's like the deepest pull I could imagine, and yet also who cares at the same time. I mean, that sounds mean, but like, I don't know. I guess I'm so tired of the series right now because it doesn't feel like there's any focus to what they're doing. Every issue is just rapidly changing direction of, oh, and now we're doing this, and oh, and now we're doing that. We had this idea for Yo-Yo being this whole like, oh, he's gone from being like a nobody into someone with a real heart of gold and whatnot. And now he's dead, and it's like, okay, well, we're just going to move on and do some Unknown Soldiers here. And Waller is deactivating their neck bombs. I understand this is part of the WTF initiative that DC is doing this month, but it felt like they went too far with it. All they needed was the Unknown Soldier bit. All this other stuff going on here of Harley is now hearing voices, and Deadshot got shot again, and Yo-Yo's dead, and their neck bombs are deactivated, and Unknown Soldier. It's too much. There's too much going on in this issue. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it a 5.5, honestly. It's slightly better than just straight down the middle of the road, but like, not by much. Especially when there's art issues as well, it's just lacking in a lot of ways. So here's hoping that Unknown Soldier turns into an actually interesting story, but not holding my breath there.